Hello everyone, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create animation of subscribe button and notification bell like this in DaVinci Fusion. By the way, if you don't want to do that by yourself, you can download what we just created here, link in the description below. You can use it for free, you can download it for free, you can use it however you like. Okay, now let's get started. Let's create new project. Let's call it subscribe button, for example. Let's call it subscribe button animation. Create. Let's change it to 4K because maybe some of you will use it and download it. So I will put 30 frames, 4K. Save. Okay, now we need background. Let's go to effects. We will use toolbox generators for color gradient, and on top of it will be everything else. Okay, let's close this one, and we need to import some assets like bell icons, cursor icon, a few samples like bell sample and mouse click sample, and we create new Fusion composition. We will call it button. Create. Now we go to Fusion and we create background first, connect it with the media out. We will place it like this. And now let's create button. We will use shapes for this. We go to effects, tools, shape, and we use rectangular shape. And we also need render, shape render, because without it we will not see this. And we merge it with our main sequence. So now let's change the color of our shape. We will make it red, just a little darker, like this. Okay. We change the shape of it to make it look more like a button. Let's make it like this, and let's add some corner radius too. Okay, now let's change our background to green because we will have some black and dark elements, so it will be easier to work on green screen. Now we have the first layer. Now we need to copy paste it because we will have few layers of our button. The layer with the green button, it's top layer. We will call it top, and this one I will name it light, for example. You will understand why just a little bit later. Okay, now let's change the color of the light layer to and we will make it less saturated and more bright. Okay, and now we will move it just a bit down with the y-axis, like this, just a little bit. Okay, now we have to add some text. We have to add text on top of it. Let's call it subscribe. Let's rename it. Subscribe. Okay, subscribe. And we will merge it on top of our top button. So subscribe. It's too big. We need to make it smaller. Let's roll down the size. Okay. And now we need to create the bottom of our button. So we will copy one of the nodes. We will rename it and call it bottom. And we will make it darker, like so. Okay, and we will render it, of course, and merge it before all of it, because it should be under our top layers, so it will be here. And now we will move it down on y-axis just a little bit, like so. Like so. Okay, so we just created our button. Now let's create an animation so it will press itself. So how we do that? Let's move it just a little bit, so it will be more convenient to work. So now we need to create an animation for top two layers. We will add a transform node here, and we will call it press, because it will animate the press of our cursor. Okay, select it and go to frame 30 and create position automation. Just hit this diamond icon and it will create an automation. Now with the arrow on your keyboard, move 2 frames forward, create another one, and 2 frames backwards, create another one. And on the middle one we will change the Y parameter of the center, and we will move it just a little bit down, like so. Okay, now let's see how does it work. Boom. Okay, now it presses itself. Okay, let's add cursor, mouse cursor. We go to media pool. By the way, I found all of them on Google. You can find it too. Now let's add cursor, and we will put our cursor on top of everything else. Let's rename it. We will call it cursor or cursor. Okay, now we merge it here, and we need to add transformation node to make it smaller first, and now we need to move it like so. It will click in this position, and we also need to automate this cursor to make it going out of frame to the bottom and click it. So now we go to frame 30, because here on frame 30 is pressing of the button is happening, and we create here position automation, and we go to the initial point and we're moving our mouse out of frame. Now let's select both points and just a little bit curve the trajectory of the mouse, so it will go not straight but a little bit curvy. And also go to spline, select transform, and here somewhere you can find automation for this movement, and on the end of this automation let's select it and curve just a little bit. And what it does, it's also changes the speed of the movement in this area. So when the cursor is arriving to its final point, it will go slower. Let's check how does it look. It moves slower when it's arriving. Okay, now we also need to create an automation, so this cursor will change its size when it's clicking the button. We need to add one more transform node, and we call it click. We call it click, and this one we will call it movement. Okay. Now we have to move the pivot point of our cursor, because according to pivot point it will change its scale. So for example, if I will change size like this, do you see how it changes its size? It changes its size according to pivot point. So the pivot point should be on the top of the, not on the top, on the tip of the cursor. So we will move it there. Move the axis of the cursor to the tip of the mouth, like this. And now when we change the size, it changes the size according to this pivot point. So that's what we want. Okay, now we go to frame 30, and this is where the pressing of the button is happening, and we change the size. and we automate it. Let's click and create automation point, 2 frames forward and 2 frames backward, and in the middle one we will change the size to 0.9. Okay, and now let's see how does it work. Okay, now it's changing in size and it looks more real. Okay, now let's add our bell icon. I have 2 bell icons. One is empty, this one is empty. I will call it empty bell. Okay, and this one I will call filled bell. Like this. We also need a background for them. And now let's connect all of them. Let's merge them like this, and we will merge it before our cursor like this. So in our background we need to turn off the alpha channel so it will be transparent, and we need to add transform node here in order to change the size of our bell, like so, and we move it to the right on the x-axis, like this, and just a little bit down on y-axis, like this. And now we need to add, actually let's move it just a bit more, like this. Now we need to add a white circle behind our bells. So how we do that? Before our bells we will add shape, ellipse shape. We go to effects, shapes, we go to S ellipse, and we also use S render because without it it won't be visible, and we merge it here like this, and we change its size just a little bit, like for example 0.3 I think will be fine. Yeah, maybe 0.25, a little bit smaller. Yeah, it's okay. No, let's do 0.3, but we will make smaller the whole thing, like this. Yeah, now I think it's okay. Yeah, looks okay. Okay, now we need to make animation for our bell. What we do is on frame 44 with merge for empty bell selected, we create automation point, and 1 frame forward create another one. On the frame 45 we set our blend parameter to 0 so it will disappear, and on merge for filled bell we also on frame 45 we create 1 automation point, and on frame 44 we create 1 automation point. This bell appears after empty bell, so it will be invisible on frame 44 yet. So we set blend parameter to 0, and let's see how it does work. It changes. Okay, now we have to create an animation to change the size so it will be more realistically clicked. So how we do that? We go to frame 45 and we need to create a transform node for those two. So transform node here and transform node here. And now we select the first one, we go to frame 45, we go to size, and we create automation, 2 frames forward automation and 2 frames backward automation. And on the middle one we change the parameter to 0.9. Okay, and for the second bell we do absolutely the same. 45, frame 45, frame 47, frame 43, and on the middle one we change parameter to 0.9. Now let's see how does it work. Okay, now it changes its size, and it's changing from the empty bell to the filled bell. Let's check again. Okay, now we have to move our cursor from the button to bell and click it. How we do that? We go to frame 30, we go to our cursor, let's move it just a bit down. We go to movement node and we go from frame 30 to frame 43, I think, because scale change start happening on frame 43, so cursor already should be there. So on frame 43 we move our cursor like so. Let's curve it just a bit like this, and let's change the speed of it just a little bit too, like this. Okay, close it. And now we have to change the pivot point to create animation with changing its size. So how we do that? We go to click, we go to frame 30, we have to create pivot point automation, and then we go to frame 43 and we change the x-axis value, just moving it to the new position, to new tip of the cursor position. Let's zoom in. So just a little bit more x-axis and just a little bit down by y-axis, like this. Okay, now we have to change the scale on the frame 45, because frame 45 it's where the click is happening. So we change the size, creating one, 2 frames forward, another one, 2 frames backward, another one, and on the middle one we change this value to 0.9. Okay, now it should move there, and click it and change its size. Let's see how does it work. Click, click. Okay, it works. Now let's do, let's do when it clicked, it should move away from the frame. So let's do this. First of all, let's select movement node, position automation. Let's create automation point for positioning. And then we go to frame 455, for example, and moving away the cursor out of frame, and let's curve it just a little bit like so. Okay, now it's clicking one object, another object, and goes away. Okay, now let's change the color of the button when it's being clicked. So how we do that? We go to our top button layer and we go to frame 29, and we go to style, create automation for color, and then to the frame 30, automation for color, and changing this color to gray, to dark gray, like so. Okay, and let's change our light color too. So go to frame 29, color, automation, frame 30, automation, changing, desaturating, a little bit darker. Okay, and to the bottom. We go to frame 29, create automation, frame 30, create automation, and desaturate it and make it even darker. Okay, now let's see how does it work. Boom, boom. Okay, now we can import animation to our project already. So let's do this, go to edit mode and place this button above. Oh, wait a second, we have to, first of all, we have to turn off our green screen. So let's go to the very first background and just turn down those sliders so it will be transparent. So now we can place our animation over other objects in our project, and it will be fine. So okay, now let's see how does it work. Okay, it's lagging just a little bit because it needs to render. It's 4K. Now let's add a sound for this. Let's first add mouse click. So I need to zoom in for finding this place. Here's click. In this place, click is happening, so I place it like this. And I need to place also the bell sound. So let's find the place where the bell is clicked. Here. And here I will place the bell sample. Okay, we just finished. We just created the subscribe button and notification bell animation in DaVinci Fusion. Make sure to download this animation if you don't want to do that by yourself. You can download it for free and you can use it however you like, wherever you like. Also, make sure to download royalty-free music pack for video creators for every occasion. You can download it absolutely for free, link in the description below. And make sure to subscribe, hit notification bell and like button, it will help a lot. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.